My name is Judy Adams, and I'm here with Chester Green at his place of business called Chester's Lock Shop. Today is April 8th, 2014, and I want to thank you, Chester, for agreeing to this interview. The purpose of the I Am Palestine interviews is to gather personal histories of the people who have lived in Palestine most of their lives and have helped shape it. And I'll start out by asking you what your full name is.
Chester Green.
Okay, and your parents' names?
Margaret Kincaid and Chester Green, Sr. I guess I'm Chester Jr., so I'm being Chester Sr.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any siblings?
Got two.
And what were their
Kara
names?
and Chet. Kara's in Texas. She's regional manager for Palm Harbor Homes down in the Beaumont area. And Chet's working in the oil company business of some sort. Right now he's in Hawaii. He's been in Hawaii since back and forth since the first of the year. He works for this company. I'm not exactly sure what he does. They buy refineries and he goes in and helps set them up, get them running, and this and that and the other.
That sounds like a pretty important job. So those are your children. Did you have any brothers and sisters?
I got two brothers, which are twins. Gary was vice president in the computer departments at American Express for years, and Bob's a school teacher down Vincennes. 30-some years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how close he is retiring, but he's got 30 years in, I think, or more.
So where were your parents from?
Terre Haute. Both of them were Terre Haute.
Okay.
Mom went to Garfield, Mom went to Wiley, Dad went to Garfield. They met there, I can't remember what year, back in the 20s, I think. Yeah, it couldn't be 20. Mom was born in 20. So it was back in the 30s, somewhere along there.
So when did they move to Palestine?
1950.
Really?
Dad used to work for Kroger's, and he got out of Kroger's, and they bought the newsstand in 1950. Moved to Palestine. I bought it in 49. We came here in 50. I stayed with my grandmother. The boys, we stayed in Terre Haute till for a year. They got started, and we moved into Palestine in third grade. And been here in this lovely little town ever since.
Yeah. So your dad had a news agency here in Palestine?
Yeah, he run the newsstand. He also run, they had a bobby pin factory up over a good wine store in the old Fife Opera House at one time. He ran it for a while. And then Mother and him divorced. She remarried and married Garvin Kincaid, who had an infant stuff here. He had two boys, Carson and Doug. Carson and I the same age, and Doug was a little older. He had an airplane shop.
Okay. And Garvin was a major businessman here on Main Street too.
Yeah,
for
he
years.
was president of the bank board in Palestine and Farmer State Bank, and had a big implement company down on the south end of town here,
Mm-hmm.
the south end of Main Street.
Mm-hmm. So you went to school from the third grade on here in
Yes,
Palestine. Did you have any teachers that impacted you when you were going to school? Through grade school or high school?
Mrs. Jensen and Mrs. McGill.
Which
The two that I thought the most of, I guess. Mrs. Jensen, I liked her. She liked to talk and bring up worldly products and things like that. And Mrs. McGill made me work and made me do something. And I appreciated her more at the end of after I graduated than I did all the rest of them. When I went through school, I didn't say I didn't like her. She wasn't my favorite at the time, but then after school was over with and you get out for a few years, you look back and she's the one that helped me do what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Sports is the most thing at that time, and I didn't care much for school, so that's why I'm working.
Well, I know that you're well respected in the whole county, and I'm not sure how far beyond the county you go, but I don't know what we'd do without you in your business. Do you have any memorable moments from school?
No, it was all. I don't have any bad moments, to tell you the truth. So I guess it was all good moments because there was nothing. I had not any real problems all the way through school. It just, like I said, I got along with the teachers all right. All of them were pretty good. It was just, it was a good 4 years. Well, 8 years, 12 years, whatever, and all that.
Good place to grow up, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It changed a lot.
What kind of changes did you see?
Well, I can remember Monday nights at 6 o'clock. It was Boy Scouts over on the school ground, little cabin they had over there. And when they come back to go home, go past Luther Buchanan's, and he'd still be open at 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. Still get a Coke, a nickel Coke, fountain. And Saturday nights, everybody come to town and do their shopping early, and then everybody park on Main Street and sit in their car, and people walk around, and you talk to everybody and saw everybody. All the parking places were full, and all the stores stayed open until about 8 or 9 o'clock. That's 60, 70 years ago, I guess, 60 years ago.
How many grocery stores were there?
7 grocery stores, 7 filling stations at one time in this town.
Wow.
And they all made money. I guess they did. Everybody didn't look hungry, so I mean, I guess they made it.
Yeah.
There was 7 gas stations and seven grocery stores.
I remember when I was little, I grew up in Robinson, coming over here to go to the theater.
Yes, the
Yeah.
Vogue.
Yeah.
In fact, I tore it out.
Really?
Ralph Batchelor bought it. That's where he put his laundromat in. Memorable event there was the marquee out front, and he wanted to take it down, and he was going to hire somebody, and they wanted, I forget, $5,000 or $6,000 to tear it down, and he said, we can do it. So we went out there and put a bunch of boards down on the ground, and went up there and cut the wires, or cut the things, and boom, down it come. Didn't tear anything up. We done it. Saved $4,000 or $5,000.
Wow.
But I remember that. Spending the summer going in there tearing the boards out, the nails out of the boards, and that's where the laundromat was.
Okay. Do you have any special memories of the history of Palestine, other than what you've already mentioned?
No, Palestine's just always been, it just seems like it's, well, when we got married, I told my wife we were traveling on construction, and I told her when we had kids, we could settle down someplace. I didn't care. It didn't make any difference. I'd like to stay here, but didn't have to. But she decided this was as good a place as any, and we've been here and have no regrets. In fact, I like to get away from the place every once in a while and go on a trip and this and that and the other, but it's always home when I come back. It's still Palestine. It's changing a lot. We lost our bank recently, or one of them anyway. That's been there for a long, long time. It's kind of putting a dent in things, but it's still home. I mean, it's been 50 or 60 years here. I've been married 50 years, so it's 50 years I've been here. Probably been here, well, 50. It's 60-some years I've been here. So
it's a good place to raise family, and it's a good place to know most of the people that live here.
Yeah, it's one of those that everybody knows everybody's business, but by the same token, it's better than being in a big town where nobody. I've had people come down here, and I've done lock work, and they said they live in Chicago, and live in an apartment buildings and didn't even know the next door neighbor.
Mhm.
And I can't understand that. I mean,
Mhm.
it's getting that way anymore for me. Of course, I'm getting up in years, and the people are a lot younger. I don't know a lot of them anymore. I still do work for them, but I don't socialize with them like I did years ago when we all seemed to, everybody just seemed to know everybody.
Mhm.
Anymore, you see something in the paper and you say, well, who's that? I don't know who that is.
Mhm.
Somebody sneaks in on you someplace. I mean, of course, when Dad had a newsstand, I carried all the papers in town, or had carried on all the routes in town, and I said to tell you who lived in every house.
Mhm.
Not anymore.
Mhm. Well, things do change.
Well, yeah. And I'm not sure, it's not for the worst, but it's not, I mean, just an old timer.
Mhm.
Old timers like old things, and
Mhm.
I try to keep up with the new stuff, but by the same token, I think it'd be better if we went back.
So, what do you see for the future of Palestine?
Well, I don't think it's ever going to go away. It's not going to. We're going to have to do something and bring something in here, some industry or something to get things going. Streetscape, I'm not for it. I'm not against it. I was on a trip down in Mexico and was at a place, and I saw the bars across there that they're talking about. And they're kind of cute. It's kind of neat. I think after once people see it, they'll like it. I'm not doing it for a selling point. I just happened to see it, and I see what it's like, because you had to walk out, you'd go down, and
Mhm.
you got to have a railing there, and it was kind of nice.
Mhm.
I'm not sure that that's going to bring a lot of people in. We're going to have to do something to get people in here.
Mhm.
I mean, businesses have got to make money. Not everybody. I mean, I'm not knocking Walmarts, but the Walmarts of the world are taking people away from your little businesses.
Mhm.
I mean, there was Robinson's clothing store, and there was the Firestone bicycle shop, and I mean, all these places, and now we don't have any of them around.
Mhm.
And the little shops are getting eat up with the big ones, and they can't compete. I understand that, but I can't compete with them,
Mhm.
and I don't try to. I tell them, no, that's all right. I just can't do it.
So, is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Your volunteer work, or what you've?
No, I just like to do things when I can, now and then.
Mhm.
Like to help when I can.
Mhm.
I don't do a lot because I'm always busy. It seems like by the time I get ready to do something, somebody gets locked out, and away I go. So that
Mhm.
kind of leaves me high and dry. So.
Mhm. Okay. Well, if you don't have anything else, I want to thank you again for letting me do this interview with you, and I really appreciate it. And the foundation, the Mary Heath Foundation, appreciates it because of that, we're putting all this on the internet so everybody can look it up.
Oh, well, good.
So, thank you again, and I'll talk to you later.